What is up, guys? It's Trainer Cheeto here, and today we're going to talk about Pokemon Masters, the new mobile game coming to Android and iOS this summer. We're going to be covering all we know of the game up till now, that's including the story, game mechanics, and confirmed sync pairs. So starting off with the story, this adventure is going to take place in the artificial island of Pasio, where each trainer has only one partner Pokemon. This is called a sync pair. The protagonist wants to enter a tournament called the Pokemon Master League, or PML for short. To qualify for the PML, you will need to win 5 badges from PML leaders by defeating them in battle. But in Pasio, the battles are 3-on-3, so you will need to recruit other sync pairs to be able to compete. Now, if I had to guess, probably recruit trainers by defeating them in battle, as seen by some images and the website. Now, talking about 3v3, this brings us to our next point, game mechanics. As I mentioned before, the twist to this game is that the battles are 3-on-3 in real time. So looking at some gameplay shown, here we see a battle against Barry using Brenton, Asterola, and Misty, which have their respective Pokemon. If I had to guess, this is probably the battle where you can recruit Barry if you are able to defeat him in battle. So starting from the bottom of the screen, we see the move gauge that fills up as time passes, and this lets you use your Pokemon's attack, which are displayed in the menu right above it. For example, the attacks Bullet Seed and Leaf Storm are shown, which takes 2 and 3 bars respectively. Next to it is an icon with a leaf and an 8 in it, which I'm guessing is how you activate sync moves, which are a special kind of attack similar to Z moves. The leaf probably represents the type of sync move, and the 8 is probably like a timer until you are able to use the sync move. But going back to the menu here, we see some more moves to the right of it. But these are trainer moves. Yes, that's right, trainers use moves as well. But don't worry, this is not like pulling out a gun or punching a Pokemon. They're just more like cheers and items that heal Pokemon and give stat boosts, as we see Brendan having no turning back and dire hit on his menu. Now, each sync pair will obviously have different moves, giving different effects, which brings us to our final topic, which is confirmed sync pairs. Now, I will try to keep this part of the video as brief as possible since there is quite a few and I would like to keep this video short. We're going to begin with the sync pairs that already have a trainer and Pokemon confirmed, either by a trailer, gameplay, or website. So starting off the list, we have the protagonist with Pikachu, Red with Charizard, Blue with Pidgeot, Brock with Onix, Misty with Starmie, Erica with Vileplume, Lance using a Dragonite, Claire having a Kingdra, Brendan having a Trico, Norman using Slacking, Flannery with Torkoal, Steven with Metagross, Barry with Piplup, Crusher Wake having a Floatzel, Flint using Infernape, Cynthia obviously having a Garchomp, Thornton with Bronzong, Charon with Stoutland, Elisa with Substrika, Skyla with Swanna, Iris with Haxorus, Caitlyn with Reuniclus, Grimsley having a Lightbird, Rosa with Snivy. Now this is an interesting case since in the official art, Rosa is seen with a Serperior, so we don't know if the Pokemon are going to evolve, or maybe even it's going to be a higher rarity of Rosa since it is maybe going to be a gacha game. It probably is going to be, but that is pure speculation on my part. Moving on, we have Karina with Lucario, Wolfric with Avalugg, Diantha with Gardevoir, Professor Kukui with Lycanroc, Asterola with Palossand, and Nanu with Alolan Persian. Now that is all the sync pairs that we have confirmed, but we also saw some trainers in the trailers that don't have a confirmed Pokemon. Now I will also give my guess onto who their partner will be. So there's Professor Oak, who is probably going to have one of the Kanto starters, but he might also have one of the Pokemon that he was going to have in his team in the original games when we were supposed to battle him. See, if you guys didn't know, the interesting fact here is that in the original games we were supposed to battle him, but they scrapped that idea. But you can still battle him if you do a glitch. Now it would be an interesting touch right there if they used one of the Pokemon he had back then, but other than that I honestly have no clue. Moving on, we have Sabrina, who's probably going to use Alakazam. Giovanni can use either Nidoking or Rhydon. Lorelei with a Lapras. Chris and Lyra are probably going to have Johto starters since they are protagonists. That way they follow the trend. But if I had to guess, I would say Chikorita for both of them. Silver is a rival, so he's also probably going to have a starter. And if I had to specifically guess, I would say Totodile. Now moving on is Bugsy with a Scyther probably, Whitney with a Miltank, Price with a Piloswine, Will with a Xatu, Archer with a Houndoom, Ariana using an Arbok. Wally is probably going to have Ralts. I know Ralts is not a starter, but that is his ace Pokemon. So he's probably going to start off with a Ralts, and maybe later on he will have a Gallade. Now moving on, we have Winona with Altaria, Tate and Lisa with Solrock and Lunatone, Fantina with Mischievous, Candice with Frostlass, Cheryl with Chansey, Palmer with Rhyperior. Hilbert and Hilda are probably going to have a starter Pokemon as well, and if I had to guess specifically which one, I would say Tepig for Hilbert, and Hilda would have a Snivy as well. Now Hugh, the rival, would probably have Oshawott, that way they each have a different starter from Unova. Now to the three brothers, Silent, Chili, and Crest, I would say Pansage, Pansear, and Pampor respectively. Moving on, we have Callum, who's a protagonist as well, and if I had to guess a specific Pokemon, I would either say Froakie. I think Froakie would be a nice fit. And then we also saw Professor Sycamore, and as well with Professor Oak, we don't really have a lot of information of them in the games of which Pokemon they own, but they're probably gonna have either the starter from their region, which is Kalos here, so maybe Froakie, Chespin, or Fennekin, or maybe they're gonna take a Pokemon he has from the anime. That would be really cool, but up to now we've only seen characters from video games, so I really wouldn't count on that. Next we see Viola with Vivian. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but next is Cybele with either Clawitzer or Barbaracle, Wickstrom with Aegislash, How the rival, again another starter, and if I had to guess specifically, I would say Rowlet. Now Lily is an interesting case since we don't really know their Pokemon as well, but we know that she owns a Clefairy. But in the anime, she owns an Alolan Vulpix. Again, they could take it from the anime, but I'm gonna stay more on Clefairy, that she's gonna have a Clefairy. Gladion is probably gonna start with a type Null. Lusamine, I really doubt she's gonna start with an Nihilego, but she actually has a Clefable, and in the anime, they said that Lusamine evolved Lily's Clefairy into a Clefable. So it'd be like a nice touch if Lusamine had a Clefable. Next is Sophocles, who's probably gonna have a Togedemaru. Mina with probably is gonna have a Ribombee, and Kahili with a Toucannon. Now those are all the characters we saw in the trailer, and also my guesses to who their partner will be. But we also saw some other Pokemon in the trailers and gameplay. There is a few, but these include Starmie, Donphan, Meryl, Hitmonchan, Butterfree, which all of the Pokemon I just mentioned were shown in the trailer. Lotad and Whimsicott were shown in the trailer as well, but they were used by trainers who were battling with Etika. Spheal, Hoppip, Nuzleaf, Bellsprout, Slugma, Geodude, Litwick, Ponyta, and Execute were all shown in gameplay. And actually some were just like spotted in a frame being blasted by a sync move when they showed all of them. Now, one last point I want to talk about is that there's 7 characters who appeared in the trailer who we haven't seen before. Now these are probably story related, and I'm guessing that this guy here is the rival whose partner is a Rockruff, and then these 3, I would say honestly the evil team because of that close up. Maybe they're hosting the tournament because of the shot we see here, but the other trio, honestly I'm not quite sure. They might be the current champions or another team, but I don't know. Comment down below what your thoughts are about this. And also make sure to leave your thoughts about the game in general. And are you hyped for it? Are you going to play it day one? Or are you going to see how the gameplay is and then decide? Anyways, that is all for today. I'll see you guys next time.